What's good, everybody? It's the Chosen One here with Bro Sanchez, and we've been going through a lot of technical difficulties lately. It's still good, we're still rolling. We took a break, but we're back at it, okay? And I had a lot of my subscribers, a lot of people in the comment section asking me to do this lecture. So this is a long time coming, and I'm getting ready to get into a very deep subject, very deep. It's on mummification. Now, one thing about mummification is a lot of Egyptologists and Scientologists, biologists, they really have the belief in their head that they understood what our ancestors went through this whole process for, okay? It's been misinterpreted, by a lot of people because some people just aren't connected to the cosmos and the hereafter like other people are, okay? So I'm basically here to break this down because this all has spiritual significance, people. When you talk about mummification, you're talking about a very long process that our ancestors did with their deceased loved ones to make sure and guarantee that they made it crossed over. Okay, when they say crossed over, they're talking about crossing over this third dimension, crossing over the fourth into the fifth. That's what the whole crossing over on the other side means, people, just to clear that up. So they had to guarantee that for themselves because they were on a whole different mental, spiritual level than us. We've devolved 2,000 years so far. So this mummification process, okay, it started by the priests taking the deceased ones down to a chamber, okay, below the pyramid. And the first thing they did was they removed the brains, okay? They removed the brains from the individual and they took the brains out and they destroyed it. They destroyed the brains. The body was drained of all fluids. The body was preserved, okay, with pure salt. And the body was left in the tomb for 40 days. Okay, pay attention to these numbers. They had 4 canopic jars. The canopic jars were artifacts that held our ancestors' internal organs. The canopic jar with the human head was known as Imseti. The canopic jar with the baboon head was known as Hapi. The canopic jar with the falcon head was known as Kebezeneth. And the canopic jar with the jackal head was Anubis' son, known as Duamatef. And these canopic jars, ladies and gentlemen, okay, were known as holy relics. Holy relics. The one thing I want people to understand very clear, okay, is that melanin is the only substance in the universe that can be in 2 places at once. So when they went through this whole mummification process, okay, they wanted our bodies, they wanted their bodies to be portals, to be something that their ancestors, their loved ones could tap into to communicate with our ancestors through this third dimension, okay, into the fifth dimension. So that would be like us communicating with people who passed on to heaven, to the fifth dimension. Their bodies and their tombs were portals, okay? And they were objects and instruments of communication. Ancient telephones, ancient cell phones. That's what these tombs and these mummified bodies were, okay? Because the tomb, it was what sent us back to the eternal womb. Okay? They just basically changed one word around, okay? And when you look at this object right here, this is the center of the galaxy. We call it mummification, which is really Mu, okay? It sends us from the third dimension straight through Mu, which is the portal past the fourth dimension into the fifth dimension. The gateway from the fourth to the fifth dimension is the center of the galaxy known as Mu. So this whole process here, They took four major portions of your organs, put them in 4 different canopic jars. Okay. Now what this was to get us our souls ready for 4 wormholes. 4 wormholes, which are portals. Okay. Stargates. We had one right here. Okay. Which is under our sun, the wormhole portal, the Stargate. When we died, 21 grams of our electromagnetic energy was magnetized to the tip of the pyramid, which magnetized our soul through the Stargate, in the sun. Then that magnetized our soul to the Stargate through Orion, the 3 stars in Orion's belt. Then it would be shot out and magnetized to the Sirius star system, the Virgin Mary, the Sirius star system. That's the 3rd Stargate. Then it would enter the 4th Stargate, the center of the Milky Way galaxy, into the 5th dimension. This is why the pyramids are perfectly aligned with this star constellation, people, and why our sun is so significant. Let's look at this. When you enter death, EA, we're going back to the EAs again. When you enter death, you're entering a dream realm, which is a different reality, and it feels real, and you leave the EA, the earth, and you have to drop your tears, and you have to drop your fear, and your heart has to be measured, and it has to be light as a feather, the EA again. And your heart, back to your heart chakra is really the essence of your spirit and your soul. Your third eye, your pineal gland, your 13th chakra is your consciousness, but your most important piece of your soul is the battery charger of that soul essence, of that being essence, and that is your heart chakra. And your heart chakra is one and the same with the sun, with the solar system, the soul, the heart. You see what I'm saying? The heart rules the sun because the zodiac sign Leo, which is ruled by the sun, is ruled by our hearts, people. Our heart chakra is directly connected to the sun, the S-U-N. In your Bible, your Bible term here, they say God's son, 3 wise men, 3 kings, and the Virgin Mary. They were talking about our star in the sky, the sun, the 3 kings, Orion's star belt, and the Sirius star, which is the Virgin Mary. The Bible is an astrological book, period, point blank. And why did they take the brains out initially and destroy them first? First things first. Let me tell you guys something. When you enter the 5th dimension, like I said, you can't take dirty laundry to a 5th dimension. So just think about when you rewinded the clock back to your kid years, from the years 2 all the way to 10. Did we give a fuck about race? Did we give a fuck about religion? Did we give a fuck about money? No, people, because those 3 things are illusions, And as long as we have this brain in our heads, those things are going to be attached to our essence and attached to our souls. And our ancestors knew that, because they knew that all that bullshit and nonsense was going to weigh our souls down in this 3rd dimension. So they took the goddamn brains out and stepped on them and spit on them, because they're worthless. Now, in your Bible, it says you have to become a child again, right? You got to become a child again, right? So when you drop the race, when you drop the hatred, when you drop the money and the sex, you become childlike again, right? When you were a child, all you wanted to do was go out and play with your friends and have fun, right or wrong. That's true, So when you look at this theology and the process our ancestors took to make sure that these bodies crossed over the 4th dimension into the 5th dimension, it all makes sense, people. We have to become childlike again and drop our foolish ways that were taught to us. We were taught to hate. We were taught race. We were taught religion. We were taught a bullshit money system, And we're going to have to drop it, or else that bullshit is going to weigh us down here, baby. And if you think it's bullshit, just wait the next couple of years, Because you're going to see a lot of shit that you think you would only have seen in a movie or a cartoon. I can promise you that. So, like I said, the mummification process okay, was all significant. The brains were destroyed first. They were taking out the body. The body was drained of all fluids. Why was that? That was because our ancestors needed needed a portal. They needed a communication system to communicate with their descendants. Okay, and they couldn't do it if the fluids were in there, because the fluids would destroy the damn body. People, that's called erosion. Okay. The body was preserved with pure salt. Salt is very significant. When you look at the words salt, soil, sol, and solar, they're all the same damn thing, because the salt is what preserved the piece of the soul in the body and in the canopic jars, people. So, like I was saying, these four canopic jars, they were what you call horcruxes. Okay? They were called horcruxes. Watch the Harry Potter video. The horcrux was what Voldemort was using to keep pieces of his soul in certain objects, people. He cut certain pieces of his body, put them and wrapped them in certain inanimate objects, and pieces of his soul haunted certain objects, people. And this is real. This is what, okay, you might as well say we're delving into hidden spiritual knowledge. Some people will call it witchcraft, but it's not really witchcraft, okay? If it's used properly, we need this knowledge, people. So like I said, the tombs and the mummies can be thought of as horcruxes, which are holy relics. If you go into Ethiopia and you look at holy relics, you can tap into certain people's melanin crystals that were put body parts embalmed and wrapped inside of certain crystals, and you can tap into that and tap into your ancestors' spirit, and it's called holy relics. Okay, this is not bullshit. This is all truth, and this is why they went through this whole people. This mummification process was a long ass process, people. This couldn't no 1, 2, 3 people get this shit done. This took a collective effort of at least 7 to 10 people, and it took over 40 days. Now we're gonna go back to this numerology, okay? 4 canopic jars, 4 sons of Horus, 4 wormholes, and this knowledge was given to us by Prometheus, Uranus, to escape the Saturnian time matrix. And Prometheus, his planet is known as Uranus, which is the planet of 4 rings. The planet of 4 rings, because 4 is really the number 13. Okay, 1 and 3 gives you 4. Okay, 4 energy, 13 energy, 22, 31. It all goes back to Uranus, Prometheus, the one who gave us the serpent wisdom to go from this 3rd dimension, this stargate in the sun, this stargate in Orion, this stargate in Sirius, into the giant stargate, which is known as Mu Mayat, the 13th chakra, the 13th crown of the universe, entering past the 4th dimension into the 5th dimension, people. And it took 40 days. It took 40 days for us to do this process, for the soul's journey, to go from the Sun Stargate, Orion Stargate, Sirius Stargate, and through Mu, the center of the galaxy, into the 5th dimension. It took 40 days, okay? And like I said, they were embalmed in the salt, so a piece of their soul, a piece of their essence, okay, could be on this 3rd dimensional plane to communicate with descendants, to show them the right path, okay? And another thing is, when you look at certain movies, okay, when you look at the movie The Mummy, that movie The Mummy with Brandon Fraser, okay, that movie was very significant because it told you about the book of life and the book of the dead, and it told you our souls were eternal and they could be put into certain objects, because when you think about it, the only object, the only chakra we were taking to the 5th dimension was our heart chakra. That's why they left the heart, which is the other EA. That's why they left the heart in the body, because that is the only chakra we were taking with us to the fifth dimension, people. And that is, and it makes sense, people. It makes sense. You can't think about sex and criminal bullshit and have a big ass ego and think about money and bullshit. You can't do that in the fifth dimension, people. That's why the brains had to be taken out. Okay, our heart is the battery of the heart chakra is the battery chakra of our whole soul, our whole essence. In the Child's Play movie, how did they kill Chucky? How did they kill Charles Lee Ray, who transported his soul into the damn doll? They had to kill his heart. They had to kill the battery of his damn soul, or else he was going to keep putting pieces of his soul in different inanimate objects, people. This is not a game. It's not bullshit. Okay, we're delving into witchcraft, sorcery. Okay, but if it's used for good, it'll put us on the right path and get us thinking how we're supposed to be thinking. And I'm getting ready to blow a lot of people's minds here. We're supposed to be mummifying our dead, people. We're not supposed to be burying our dead in the fucking ground so they could get eaten up by worms and their souls could be in purgatory in the third and fourth dimension, people. These people knew that the Draconians tried to block stargates off to stop us from getting back to the fifth dimension. So that's why they created mummification, people. That's why they created it. To defeat Saturn. To defeat the matrix system. Okay? So this is really significant. We are not supposed to be burying our dead. We're supposed to be mummifying our dead. I know this is going to blow a lot of people away. A lot of people are going to be asking me questions, calling me crazy, but this is true, people. We have to start mummifying our dead. I told you to put up pictures of your loved deceased ones first, okay? Because that was that was very significant. You know what I mean? As far as your ancestor spirit and soul, because they are here. They are in this third and fourth dimension, okay? So we got to start mummifying them to make sure that they reach over to the fifth dimension. And to do that, you have to go through this step-by-step mummification process that takes 40 days, okay? So that about sums it up. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, man. It's a chosen one, man. I'm out.